Good morning everybody out of New South Wales. Yesterday I flew with the plane from Cairns to Sydney and I just here at the beginning of the Blue Mountains, just one hour from Sydney away. What I'm doing here is actually visiting some breeders. I got invited by Luke, and Luke is a passionate Lorikeet and Macaw breeder here in the Blue Mountains. Currently I stay in a tiny house. I've never stayed before in such a tiny house in the middle of nowhere. Outside king parrots, crested pigeons, magpies, eastern rosellas. It's everything full of native parrots, which I definitely have to film right now. So let's go outside together, film some parrots, and afterwards we see some lovely breeding stations.
And straight away I saw a wonderful female of the king parrot. They eat seeds, fruits, berries and nuts from a variety of plants and trees. Sometimes they also eat insects and larvae, especially when feeding their chicks. Beyond their beauty, king parrots help the forest by spreading seeds and pollens. This supports the growth of new plants and keeps the ecosystem healthy. You might have heard him already, the eastern rosella. It was a stunning view over a calm river. And especially in springtime in Australia, I have visited the area around Sydney in the Blue Mountains. There the eastern rosella is looking for a nesting place.
The Australian bush is always very exciting for me. To be in the habitat with the birds you actually keep in aviaries up in Europe is amazing. You learn so much about their natural behavior, about their diet and about their breeding habits. I'm currently here in New South Wales, which is on the east coast of Australia, just about 1 hour west of Sydney. Here in this area it's the starting point of the Blue Mountains. Which parrots do actually live in the Blue Mountains? A lot. We have the yellow-tailed black cockatoo, we have the crimson rosella, the eastern rosella, we have galahs, we have the corellas, we have the sulfur-crested cockatoos and many more. But what is also threatening here for parrots? The bushfires. Bushfires in Australia happen really regularly. Unfortunately, many birds get killed. You see all the trees around me that got burned? Well, some of the trees need these bushfires to spread their seeds. The eucalyptus is a very fast growing tree, and after bushfires they get green very fast. Nevertheless, exactly this region of Australia, the Blue Mountains, are affected a lot by bushfires. Just 2-3 years ago, lots of forests got destroyed, completely burned down, and this of course destroys also the nesting sites of many parrots, especially the gang cockatoo. He was not threatened before. Always his numbers had been on a lower level, but after the bushfires his numbers dropped immediately, because all his old nesting trees were suddenly destroyed by the bushfire. So therefore it's very important that these people down here and down under take care of the parrots, their conservation, because it can just make this change. and the parrots are gone.
While I was driving further, I couldn't stop resisting to watch these beautiful corellas on this meadow. And look at the right side, there's a hybrid out of a long-billed corella and an eastern corella. This was quite astonishing to see him in the middle of the corella flock. Here you see him flying on the right side as well. These birds had been playing around with galahs a long time on the meadow. Just enjoy now how this wonderful small galah is playing around with himself. Galahs are incredible adaptive. They have a varied diet that includes seeds, fruits and nuts and leaves. You'll often find them foraging on the ground in large noisy flocks. Also, these social birds are also renowned for their acrobatic flights, exhibiting impressive agility and grace. Known scientifically as Aeolophus rosacapilla, the galah stands out with its vibrant pink chest and face, contrasted by soft grey wings and back. I thought I was camouflaged watching the galahs, but the bush curlew was visiting me secretly, directly 2 meters from the side.
The biggest misleading fact about parrots is their diet, that they eat dry seeds. We feed parrots the last 40 years with dry seeds, but that's not the right way. People thought that parrots always eat seeds. They didn't know it better at the beginning. About 100 years ago, when we got the first Australian parakeets and parrots, and that's how it all started in Aery culture, we fed them with dry seeds, because this country looks dry. But if you take a closer look to plants and parts of their diet, they actually eat green seeds. And green seeds are completely different than dry seeds, which you actually feed in your mixes. Green seeds are full of life. They are full of vitamins, full of calcium, what these birds need to survive, to build their skeleton and also to breed successfully. Also a lot of different other minerals and amino acids, and also proteins, some of them. That means in the last 40-50 years, dry seeds have worked quite well, because birds can adapt good to different habitats, to different sources of food. But it's always about the lifespan and the health of the parrots. Dry seeds may work for several years, but is the bird happy? Is the bird's body really happy? Not of course. If you see the lifespan of parrots, which can reach up to 80 years, and if you compare this lifespan of birds in breeding stations, you simply see the difference. Those birds get not only half of their lifespan. So our conception of the pellets were to get the green energy directly into our pellets. Means we pack them full of life. Like this green plant just over here. Full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants and much more. There's so much power in these plants, and this was the biggest misleading fact about parrots, that they eat these dry seeds of eucalyptus, of some plants. But if you actually look closer to it, you find these differences in the detail. This time I'm in a very special aviary complex filled with lots of lorikeets and beautiful macaw mutation. Behind me you see already the aviaries of the Macaw mutation. We have Latino macaws, we have split Latino macaws, and of course the wonderful native colored blue and gold macaw. All this collection is built up over years and of course with a lot of passion. Just passion makes it possible to keep and make aviculture great again also for the next generations. We have to take care of our birds the best way possible, and this breeder here does absolute his job. Wonderful aviaries beside me, wonderful aviaries behind me, and let's have a look into the aviaries so we can have a closer look on all the species that he breeds over here in Australia.
The blue and gold macaws are stunning birds, which had been kept in aviaries for decades. Some of them over here are quite special. From the outside, they are normal blue and gold macaws. But from the inside, they carry a very rare mutation. As you see here, the blue and gold macaw in mutation Lutino. This is a young Lutino male with a wild-colored female to reproduce strong chicks. Here we have a split pair, so these birds are split in Lutino. The aviaries are spacious and easy to clean. Here we have a pair of red-tailed black cockatoos with their big nesting site at the back of the aviary. Beside this, there's a youngster aviary of different kind of lorikeet mutations. All aviaries are equipped with fresh branches and also regularly exchanged perches. Especially those hundreds of rainbow lorikeets need fresh blossoms every single day. The owners take quite care of their birds and try to forage them every single day with fresh branches or either parts of blossoms from native flowers and trees.
Suspended cages get more and more popular. We have here a lovely suspended aviary complex. On the one side, it is easy to clean. On the other side, it's hygienic for the birds. You may have pros and cons to whether you decide to have a suspended aviary or not. So the entire aviaries are made out of metal. This is for a good reason. We have macaws inside here. Of course we supply fresh branches. All breeders do that mostly, and it's pretty advised to do so to let the bird forage and get also the minerals out of the leaves and the bark. So here we have rough, really rough perches on. That's advised for macaws and for any other bird. Why? You want good breeding results? Look at your perches first. They have to be clean and also pretty rough, that the nails get trimmed, and also the bird have a good hold on them while they mate. We have here two boxes, two nest boxes, a square nest box inside the aviary, pretty simple done, with a smaller entrance nest hole so that the birds can work together, the pairs get together while they're working on the nest hole itself. So this also has a bonding effect on those pairs. Over here you see the feeder place, very easy done, good and effective. Over here we have the bowls inside with the pellets, easily removable from outside, and here everything falls through. All the pellets which you don't need, they fall through here and get collected outside of the aviary. The whole aviary, as I said already, is made by metal, and this prevents all damages with macaws. Big peak. Over here we have an artificial nest outside, but it mimics with an old log from the inside that is a natural log. And this is a great opportunity to provide parrots, especially macaws and amazons and eclectos, with two different nest types, and they can choose wherever they like to go.
This breeder does love mutations. Here we have the black-headed Caique in the mutation Par Blue. Why Par Blue? You see it simply on the white on his chest and on the upper head. This little white and yellow patch shows that he's a Par Blue mutation. If that would be extremely white, it would be a true blue. Here you see it a little bit closer. On the cheeks there's some yellow. This bird is even more white, but still a Par Blue mutation of the black-headed Caique. These rare mutations have been bred in South America, Australia and Asia quite regularly, and finding their way to the European aviaries pretty soon. A responsible breeder is never putting two colored birds together, always like in this case, a colored bird and a wild colored bird, to keep the strength and health in the bird.
In just 2 to 3 years this aviary complex will be also nice settled with plants. This is amazing because you provide those birds shape, you make it more comfortable and more secure for the birds. If everything is blended, well, ideally inside the aviary and also around it. Suspended aviaries are surely not the ideal aviary for every parrot. I hope you can hear me, but for lorikeets, it's the best solution you can do. These guys are pretty messy when it comes. Lorikeets can get really messy, as I said before. These suspended aviaries allow it to clean it simply with a pressure cleaner. Once a week is totally fine because the birds can't reach their feces, their poop. So this is painted with a waterproof paint, and it makes it possible to pressure clean it all the time. So now we are at the feeding place. You see it's getting crazy. Look at this. Look at, come here. It's amazing, huh? Look at these birds, the lorikeets.
Rainbow lorikeet coming in different mutations. Luke, of course, loves them. Here we see also a Par Blue mutation of the rainbow lorikeet in the front. The bird in the right is a Cremino mutation. The Australian breeders are really pros when it comes to detecting mutations. Every single feather that is not looking normal could turn out to a possible new mutation. Such as this one, the grey mutation of the rainbow lorikeet. What a sensational combination of colors. Breeding mutation takes a lot of patience from you. This little chick looks normal from the outside, but it carries a par blue mutation from inside. So every little bird here is something special.
Beside the dry and wet lorikeet soup, of course lorikeets also get some fresh fruits. But they figured out over here in this huge breeding station that fruits are not that essential. And you might think, I thought lorikeets just feed sugary fruits. No, especially when they breed. Luke and his breeding friends, which are really experienced, find out down here in Australia that leafy greens such as celery, salad, maize, cup corn for example, and also carrots carry all of the vitamins and especially the minerals to get lorikeets breeding very fast and good. These vegetables supply all the needed minerals in combination with the dry and wet lorikeet mix. Awesome. The wet lorikeet mix gets fed twice a week or 3 times a week, and the dry lorikeet mix gets fed every single day. So birds can decide whether they go on the fresh greens or not. Fresh greens and fresh fruits get fed every second day as well as the wet mix.
Lorikeets have a brush-like tongue, also called a brush tongue, and a specialized digestive system, adapted to consuming nectar, pollen and berries. They obtain energy from the simple sugars in nectar, while pollen provides protein and other essential nutrients. I have filmed these lorikeets directly on the beaches in northern Queensland, and they enjoyed the fresh coconut pollen directly on the beach.